Hello guys, welcome back to my channel SKR series. In previous video we have seen how to declare a variable and what are the syntax of variable and types of variable. The types of variable in Java, that is three types in Java. First is local variable, second is instance variable, and third is class variable. In previous video we have seen the instance local variable in Java and the structure syntax of Java and the valid definition and initialization of Java variable we have seen in previous video. In this video we have to see now instance variable. Instance variable, or we can say non-static variable, or we can say object variable. Object variable or field variable. These are the name of the instance variable. That is the second type of variable, the instance variable. In previous session we have seen the local variable, and in next session we will see the class variable. Now instance variable, why it is called a instance variable? Because instance variable are those variables which are declared inside the class block without static keyword. Why it is called instance? Because these variables are called outside the class using the instance of class. Instance means that is object of class. It is also called object variable because the instance variable create separate copy for each object. That's why it is also called object variable. The instance variable create a separate copy for each object. It means suppose you create two objects for a class, then it will create the instance variable two copies for two objects. That means separate copy for each object. Why it is called a non-static? Because we don't use the static keyword at the time of declare instance variable. When instance variable are created, we create object of that variable, then the instance variable is created. When we create the object of a class, then instance variable is created. Before that the instance variable is not created. Now we will see giving one example how to define and call the instance variable. Here I take the class employee, employee, and in that class first I have to save that program. Name is employee.java. Then I have to here in class employee, first I declare instance variable int eid equals to 0. The value of default value for instance variable and class variable is 0 for primitive data type. Default value we have seen in value type, data type, and reference type data type videos. If you not see, if you want to see that video, you can see which are uploaded in Java playlist. Here I have declared int eid equals to 0 and string name equals to, or we can say string ename. Here I have taken two variables, that is eid and ename. After that I take one method, that is void display, and in that method I will print the value of eid and ename using system.out.println eid equals to, that is eid value. Then I will print the value of ename, then here in this function I have print two values, that is eid and ename. Here in class employee I have declared two variables, that is int eid and string ename. And after that I will take one main method class, that is demo instance, and in that class I have to take main method, that is public static void main string args. And in that method I will print one message, that is system.out.println, and the message is this is example of instance variable. Now here our program is completed. Here you can see I have declared the class employee, then in that class I have declared two variables, that is instance variable int eid and string ename, and the value of that two variable I have print using one method, that is void display method, and in that display method I have print the instance variable value here. And I take here the main class, that is demo instance, and in that class I take the main method, and in main method I print one message, that is this is an example of instance variable. Then when we run that program I have to change the name of program, because the name of program is same as the main method class name, that is demo instance .java. Now I will open command prompt, and after opening command prompt we will see here when I compile the program using Java C demo instance demo.java. After compiling the program, here you can see the compilation of program is successfully compiled. What is the output you want, or what is output you guess? You have to comment it on comment box. Now we will run, that is Java demo instance. Then after running the program, what are the value is printed here? in output, and what is the output is displayed here. Before running the program, I will ask you one question. In that program, how many variables are created? You have to comment it on comment box. How many variables are created in all program? In this all program, how many variables are created? You have to comment it on comment box first, and after that I will tell you how many variables are created. So I will tell you, in that variable there is one variable is created, that is string args. String type args variable is only one variable is created here in that program, and the message is, after running the program, the message is printed only. This is example of instance variable. These two statement, that is value of eid and value of enum, is not printed here because we haven't create a object of employee class, and we haven't have not call the method display. For printing the eid value and ename value, we have to first call the method display in class employee. That's why we have to create the object of the class employee for calling or printing the value of instance variable. That's why we have to create one object of class employee. Here I will create the object of class employee, that is class name employee, then object that is obj, then goes to new, then employee, that is a default constructor. After creating the object, the variable eid and ename is created here, that is instance variable created when we create the object of class. Here I have created the object of class, that is employee. This is not object, this is a reference name which are refer to the object. Object haven't their name, object not contain name. Object is a memory block which refer to the reference name. This is obj is the reference name of the object. By using the reference name, we call the object. Here the employee is the type of that object. We can say like eid, here eid type is int, like that the object type is employee. The type of object is always the class name. Here employee type, I have create one object, and object reference name is obj, and I have to create the I have to call the display method for printing the value of eid and ename. That's why I will take obj.display method. I have to call the display method. That's why here I write this statement. After that I will save the program and show you what is the output. I will compile it again, and after compilation successfully, here I will run that program again. After running this program, here this first printf statement, this is example of instance variable, is printed here first. Then after that, value of eid is 0, that is the default value, or here I have assigned the eid value 0, that's why it printed 0, and the ename value is null. Here I forgot to equals to I will compile it again and run. Here you can see aid value equals to 0 and ename value equals to null, because string type value always contain default value is null, and integer, float, integer, byte, short type value default value is 0. Here if I remove this 0 value and compile and run this program again, then what are the value you can see here. Here you can see here eid equals to 0 and ename equals to null. It means the instance variable default value is 0 and instance variable are created when the object of that class is created. That's why we call instance variable also as object variable. The instance variable is declared inside the field block of class. That's why we can also call it a field variable. The instance variable we can't call without the creating of object of that class. That's why it is also called object variable. Here I will show you again another that is concept. When we create we can create lot of object for one class. That is, I have created one more object here, obj1, then new keyword, then employee constructor. After that I will call here obj dot display, then before that I have passed to value, that is int eid comma int string ename, and after that we will see what's happened. Before that I will take this value, passing value for one constructor, that is void public. I will take constructor public employee, then I will pass that parameter int eid comma string ename, and in that I will take this dot eid equals to eid and this dot ename equals to ename, because when I pass the value from this, here I have to pass, that is 10 comma string, that is sk, string ename value for ename, that is sk, and here I have to pass the value 20, that for eid, and hurt hurt series for ename. I have passed two separate value for two separate object. We will see it will create a separate copy for a separate variable or not. We will see. Here what I have done, I have create a constructor and pass two arguments parameters, that is eid and ename, and here and this dot eid. What is this dot eid? This class is this employee, this dot eid. In that variable we have to store which value is passed here. I have passed here suppose 10, it returns to that constructor, and when it pass the employee constructor, it will store that eid, and it will pass to this dot eid. It means it pass to this int eid, and after that when it store that eid, then it will print when we call the void display function, then it will print the value of eid. Like that, the string value is also printed here. You will see I have called the object dot display, that is obj. I will cut that statement because I have created here two objects, that is obj and obj1, and I will call first obj dot display, then which value is printed, 10 sk or 20 Hz series, we will see. That's why we have to save the program. I will clear the screen, then compile the program again, and after compilation successfully we will run the program. After running the program, here you can see eid equals to 10 and ename equals to sk, because the obj, the display function, is called using the object reference, that is obj, and in that obj reference we have stored the value or passed the value to that parameterized constructor, that is 10 and sk. 10 is for eid and sk for ename. That's why we print only 10 and sk. When we call the second object also obj1 dot display method, then it will also print 20 and sk. I will delete this statement and save. After saving, I will compile the program again, and after compilation successfully I will run it. After running, here you can see eid equals to 10, ename equals to sk, eid equals to 20, ename equals to Hz series, that is second string value. It means the instance variable create a separate copy for separate variable copy for separate object. It means it create a separate copy for each object. That's why it is called a object variable or field variable or instance variable. I hope you have to understood the program and concept of instance variable here, and there is no doubt in instance variable creating and their or creating object or creating copy of separate variable for separate instance variable for separate object. Thank you for seeing this video at the end. If you have not subscribed, you can subscribe now by clicking subscribe button and then press the bell icon for further coming video updates. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to support me, then press the like button, subscribe my channel and share the video to your friends as possible as more to your friends, and say them see that video at the last. It is helpful for us. Thank you. See you in next video.